Hello everyone and welcome back to Dragalia Foundry, a fan channel where everything Dragalia Lost can be found. This video is going to contain my look at this month in Dragalia Lost for the month of August 2021. In case you're not aware, this month in Dragalia Lost is where the game's director, Yukata, previews things about the month ahead in Dragalia and often teases things about the game's future as a whole. So in this video, I'm basically going to read through that news updates, talk about what's coming this month, give my thoughts and impressions on everything, and we'll call it a video. Of course, if you watched my summoning video yesterday, you know I summoned for Gala, Audric, and Summer Leonidas, and there was a bit of a cliffhanger at the end of that video, but more on that shortly. So let's go ahead and get into this month in Dragalia Lost. Of course, with this being the start of a new month, all of our treasure trades have reset, as have monthly packs, so you can go ahead and collect your Astral Raid, treasure trade stuff, your void battles, as well as just trade some mana for honey. That is a new addition as of the latest version update, so make sure not to miss out on that. But anyway, let's click in here to this month in Dragalia Lost, of course. As always, Director Yukata thanks us for playing Dragalia Lost, and then we get into a little bit of a recap of what's been happening lately. So first off, the Stranded Scions raid event is here. That's happening right now, and those of you who've played Chapter 12, the main campaign, may find the idea of Leonidas and the prince teaming up with the other royal siblings a bit hard to believe, but he's always felt that this sort of situation would make for a fun event. And I think Okada's right, this does feel sort of like a fan service-y event in the sense that all of the siblings are together. It just seems like something that would be a really fun anime arc, almost. So I like this event. We'll have more to say when I make a proper video about the gameplay and impressions of the event as a whole. But continuing on here, play through the event to add the adventurous Summer Prince to your roster. This version of everyone's favorite Scion comes with a unique twist that solo players can enjoy with the camera settings during skills option enabled. He can take center stage with a special animation when using a skill. It can be difficult to appreciate the visual impact of an adventurer's skills in the chaos of battle, but this feature means that no foe can stop Summer Prince from being the star of the show. And just look at this beautiful portrait here, right? With Marty and Pietro, Geroda, I guess that's not there, of course, and the rainbow behind Summer Prince. Summer Prince, an adventurer who many people have wanted to see playable for a while. It's not every day we get an alt for the Prince for Yuden, so really cool to see this as a free adventure. And I like this camera option as well. We saw something like this with Grimnir and his Trials of the Mighty, where the camera actually zooms in during certain portions of the fights. Makes it feel a lot more dynamic. You do get that in a few other boss fights, I suppose, but to have that on an adventure skill is kind of sweet. So Summer Prince, looking good, and glad we all get him for free. Moving on from this part about Stranded Scions, the adventurers Gala, Audric, and Summer Leonidas are featured in Gala Dragalia, available now. You can see them here, and we'll come back to this shortly after reading about the next Summon Showcase. So the next Summon Showcase is going to feature Summer Chelle, and the dragon, Summer Cat Shith, will appear in a prize showcase starting on August 4th at 1 a.m. for me. For further details like their stats and skills, please see the corresponding in-game notification. I just can't believe they have Summer Cat here with the sunglasses, and I have no idea how she'll be implemented. Part of me wonders if they'll just duplicate regular Summer Cat, but make her immune to Curse of Nihility. I think that might be one execution, or maybe they'll make it so that she has some type of skill damage amps, similar to the strength and defense amps we've seen so far, because her clawful stacks in the past were skill damage boosting, so we'll see exactly what she looks like. But then Summer Chelle here as well obviously looks great, and love the hat, nice choice. But anyway, we left yesterday's video on a cliffhanger and didn't choose whether we wanted to spark Gala, Audric, or Summer Leonidas. So before we read on, let's go ahead and do that now. After reading your comments, I have come to a decision, so I'm going to ultimately end up sparking Gala, Audric. Part of what led me to want to spark Summer Leonidas was that Royale skill. I just do like showcasing different adventures in the Battle Royale, trying to win with them, so there was part of me that was tempted by that, but as I read your comments, it is true. Gala Audric is semi-limited, And he does have a more unique co-ability, so I think that it makes more sense to get Gala Audric, even though he doesn't have any type of special performance in the Battle Royale. It's not like you really need that to get all the monthlies done there, so I'm going to go for Gala Audric. Another consideration I had was, even though Summer Leonidas is permanent and Gala Audric's part of the Gala, a lot of times Gala units, by nature of them being part of the Gala Dragalia, they have special treatment, so there might be like a Gala Platinum showcase, for example, that features several recent Gala adventures. Like that might be something that happens in the 3rd anniversary, in which case maybe it's actually a little bit easier to pick up Gala Audric in the future than it is Summer Leonidas, since for Leonidas we're probably looking at a Dream Summon to get him for sure. So it's a tough choice, but I do think Gala Audric ultimately is going to be the better choice for me, so now he is my ally. And Summer Leonidas, as sad as it is to say, we'll have to wait until a future date to add you to our team. Anyway, that wraps up my summoning from yesterday, so let's go ahead and go back here into this month in Dragalia Lost. And let's scroll down and continue reading. Besides this prize showcase, we then find out that Shadow and Flame-attuned versions of Lilith will appear as raid bosses in Trials of the Mighty. We knew this was happening because the August schedule for Trials of the Mighty was published a little while back. But as usual, only certain element types will be eligible for these battles, but this time there are no restrictions on weapon types, so that's quite cool. And materials for unlocking the 5-star adventure Dragalia Cleo's Mana Spiral will be available for the Shadow Attuned Lilith fight, and then Leah's Mana Spiral materials will be available from the Flame Attuned Lilith battle. And yes, this is a key word here. They'll appear as raid bosses. So that's also something we haven't seen in Trials of the Mighty in the past. That's actually kind of cool. Having more permanently available raids, in addition to Murciati Reckoning and our Astral raids that come around on the weekends, I think is kind of cool. Hopefully it's enough to make it feel like a twist on the traditional Lilith Sinister Dominion fights that we've had so far. I'm looking forward to this one. Leia getting a Mana Spiral is much deserved, but also a little bit weird. It does break with the pattern we've had so far, where you're either a Gala adventurer, or if you're not, you're a healer, so maybe they'll just randomly give Leia overdamage, perhaps? We'll see on that. I also have a comment, more so than a comment on this, but just on Trials of the Mighty, and maybe some of you can help answer this for me. For some reason, I've looked at my collection, and my Gala Ronzal is at 64 mana nodes, and my other Gala adventurers that have had multiple weeks to get materials to advance their Mana Spiral, they're all at 65 mana nodes. And so I don't know if I did something wrong. Was there a slight difference in the availability period? Or maybe did I just click on the wrong difficulty? Let me know if you have any insight on that in the comments, because for some reason, my Gala Ronzal is like one step behind several of my other Gala adventures, and I have no idea why. I think maybe I just picked the wrong difficulty a couple times or something, because you would think if I totally forgot to do Trials of the Mighty, right, then I would have gotten 2 trials worth on the next day, but I never had that come up. So the last time that I think it was Poseidon and Zephyr featured, I have no idea what happened, but somehow I went for Gala Ronzal every day, but my Gala Ronzal's at 64 mana nodes. So anyway, that is just a complete aside, but otherwise I have been keeping up with the Trials of the Mighty dailies, maybe doing the wrong difficulty by accident, but we'll see on that. Moving on from Gala Cleo and Leia here. In the upcoming Light Legions trial, which is also being added in August, players will have to defeat multiple enemies in large-scale battles akin to the Imperial Onslaught. So we've had that with the Shadow Legions trial, where there were hit count-based mechanics instead of just damage. And that's going to be, you can beat that to get materials for Vixel's Mana Spiral. Well deserved, I feel, for Vixel. Like, I was looking through my collection the other day of light healers who don't have a Mana Spiral yet, to see who might be the bearer of overdamage in the light element, or get a Mana Spiral at the very least, because the other elements through Trials of the Mighty, we've had Nurse Eileen, Yukata Cassandra, we've had Akasha, we've had Summer of Erica. Those 4 elements have had a healer who then gets access to overdamage, so hopefully we'll see that for Vixel now as well. that's actually what I'm looking forward to. Vixel is a character I like, so glad to see that there. And then in the world of Cleo news, a Yukata-clad Cleo will make an appearance as an adventure in an Onslaught event in mid-August. And wow, this is the most striking outfit I think I've seen on any Cleo alt. Instant favorite as far as Cleo alts go. I just think that this is a really beautiful Yukata and pose by Cleo there, so well done on making a new Cleo alt. As usual, it seems like the hits keep coming with these summon showcases lately. Like, there is no reprieve. If you're a fan of more than one character in Dragalia Lost, your Wormite is effectively doomed, it feels like. But I really like this outfit. I really love this illustration of Cleo here. So looking forward to seeing exactly what this event is all about. Maybe we'll get some Aurelius action. That'd be kind of nice, given their recent encounter in the main campaign. Maybe we'll also get, maybe we'll get some other Yukata-clad adventurers. I suppose this will probably release as part of a Gala remix. So at this point, we're looking at perhaps Gala not making a return, maybe Gala Mascula already, but I'd probably say not among the two, although maybe they go Mascula first, and then that way they save Not for September, which is the anniversary month. Like, Not feels like a little bit more of a central character than Mascula, so that might be a nice little swap they could do. But I'm sure a lot of players are going to want to summon for this Cleo. I just love the color. I love how the color of her hair and the color of the Yukata mesh so seamlessly together. Really pretty portrait. Okay, so moving on from this Onslaught event, a time attack challenge event pitting you against Wind-attuned enemies will be held in late August. This time you'll be up against the Piercing Gale himself, Jaldabaoth. This is fine to me, completely just sort of whatever, honestly, like completely ho-hum about this. I have just relegated myself to doing basically just the daily minimum for time attack challenges and have not been going out of my way to pursue super high, or super low rather, times, super fast times. But there is an audience that really enjoys these, so for that audience, I guess I'm glad that this is continuing on with Lilith and now Jaldabaoth. Hopefully... Oh, well, we just got kicked out of Dragalia. This is the third crash that we've had in a while. Dang. So anyway, I was just talking about Jaldabaoth. We'll go back in. Our previous several crashes were all in the midst of summoning, so it didn't seem like reading through this news post would be a very intensive activity, but here we are. Anyway, when it comes to Jaldabaoth and Lilith, I guess this means we're going to get Asura next, and hopefully this also means that if they want to keep doing these time attacks, we'll also get a steady release of the Sinister Dominion battles, so that they're able to then turn those around and do time attack challenges with them. But yeah, it's gotten to a point for me where I just don't have the time to really invest in these, which I don't begrudge anybody who does, because there are clearly some people who are really interested in this. But the past two time attacks, honestly, like, I've done the ranked battles exactly once, and then I've just done my dailies with like the lowest stamina quest to do 3 dailies, and that has been my entire engagement with time attack challenges. So I don't even know what the best times are, what the best teams are, pretty much literally nothing about time attack. But for those who do enjoy it, it is coming back with Jaldabaoth. This will be kind of an interesting one with all the mobs, the minions that Jaldabaoth summons, but probably just won't have a lot of time to really focus on this. And I think that the way they tend to do these now is they'll double them up with like a rerun event simultaneously. So we'll probably get some event coming back around that time. We also haven't gotten a compendium event in a while either, so maybe there's a chance of a compendium event this month, although one doesn't seem to be mentioned here. Anyway, moving on from time attack challenges, part 1 of chapter 21 of the main campaign will be added in late August. The adventure continues at the summit of the Sacred Tree as paths and opinions cross. We saw in the preview for chapter 21 that Elysium is going to make an appearance, so right now I'm saying that end of August, probably going to be a Gala Elysium showcase if they want to continue on with dragons as a theme for every other month. That'd have to be my best guess there, and then after that they could go into Bahamut, They could maybe go into making Gala versions of the Great Worms. There are a lot of things they could do afterward, but since we have wrapped up the 5 reborn Gala dragons, I do think they're going to need to do something different here, so we'll see what happens with Chapter 21. Next up, an invasion event will take place in late August that will further explore the history and motivations of several characters who appear in the main campaign. I hope you'll enjoy delving into their past and learning more about how their present came to be. That's an interesting one. Several characters who appear in the main campaign. So, some of the characters that appear in the main campaign, I wonder what they mean here. It doesn't necessarily have to be the protagonist of the campaign, right? Like, I am thinking about the fact that Nevin appeared in the main campaign at one point. I'm also thinking about Cardinal Grot, Auriga, some of the North Grastian Church characters, because I do feel like we are due for another church-related event if we want to have another Archangel boss introduced in the Sinister Dominion. I feel like we probably are due for an event where we get to meet Uriel, Faris's Archangel, or maybe even Michael, who is Basilius's Archangel. So we'll see. That's kind of where I'm leaning with this. Those are characters whose past and present isn't super well known. And then again, it could just be Mascula and Laxi. They're characters that we don't know a whole lot about their past. And there have been a few events this year focused on the androids. Besides them, I suppose it could be any of the royal siblings. It could be like Faris or Ferris, I don't know. I have trouble pronouncing his name differently from the apostle's name, but basically Yuden's older brother, the 5th Scion. It could be him. Maybe it could be Baron as well. Or I guess he's not the 5th. He's the 3rd, right? 3rd, 4th? Gosh, it's been so long since I've really thought about the order of that lore. Valix is the 4th, I guess? Is Chelle the 2nd? Chelle's the 3rd? Is Ferris the 2nd? I know Emil's the 6th. We can work it out. Leonidas clearly number 1, of course. Summer Leonidas, number 1++. But anyway, who knows? Like, this could be anybody. It could be Harl. Like, there are a lot of characters, both main characters and side characters, who appear in the main campaign, so just reading this, like, I don't have any clue who it could be whatsoever. But invasion events, the last one I wasn't super pumped about. It was okay, but Luca's role in the story definitely was not something I enjoyed that much. And then I just felt like it kind of was so similar to a facility event for me that I really didn't notice a whole lot of difference, but willing to give it another shot. And I'm already expecting August to be kind of a light month because the anniversary month is in September. So my expectations are pretty low for this month. Like, probably going to be a good time to just kind of like recuperate, or if you're new to Dragalia, like really settle in, do some of the dailies, take on some of the end game, like get yourself in a good spot before the anniversary happens. That's what I would say. So that once the anniversary happens, if there's any special events, double drops, triple drops, etc., you'll be well positioned to take those on. So I'm looking at August as kind of a chill month. Moving on from that, we have future updates here. In an update in late August, we will add additional Wormprint affinity bonuses that grant affliction resistance. As with existing affinity bonuses of this type, you'll be able to enjoy 100% resistance to a certain affliction by equipping the requisite number of Wormprints tied to these new affinity bonuses. While we of course plan to tie these affinity bonuses to upcoming Wormprints, we are also considering tying them to existing Wormprints as well. Further information will be provided in an upcoming in-game notification, so stay tuned. Cool. I don't have much else to say on this. Maybe some of them will be part of future Sinister Dominion battles too. Maybe some of the Wormprints that don't really have anything special going on. Like, there are Wormprints that don't have any affinity, nor do they have any kind of special drop bonuses and facility events. You'll see that pretty often where if a Wormprint doesn't have an affinity, it's because it has some other kind of perk to it. But there's still some out there that just don't really have anything going on, so maybe they'll give them some of these affliction resistances, or maybe they'll just be introducing new Wormprints. That's also possible. And then finally here, the game's 3-year anniversary in late September is fast approaching. Like last year and the year before that, we plan to commemorate this momentous milestone with a variety of celebratory events, while players may be expecting this year's anniversary story to focus on Dragalia Lost past. I'm happy to announce that it will take a different direction than the previous 2 anniversaries. I hope you're looking forward to seeing what surprises we have in store this year. Very nice. So, cool little teaser there about the anniversary event. I would love to see something that's kind of like, I don't know the best way to put it, xenologue? Something that's kind of simultaneous or maybe a capper on what's happening in the current arc of the main campaign. We're reaching a climax with Chapter 21 in the World Tree of the Agito and Nedric arc. At least that's the way it seems to me. So I would love to get something that accompanies that, maybe gives us some more backstory on the Agito and Nedric, and is focused more on the present or parallel present to what's happening in the story. Maybe a little backstory on them, as I said, but also like the culmination of everything. Like, what is the fallout? Because it feels like in the story chapters, we don't always have the space to explore everything fully. So frankly, if they want to do Chapter 21 Part 1 in August and then Part 2 in September, I wouldn't mind following that up immediately with like, here's more about the main story. That's the part of Dragalia Lost I'm pretty interested in right now. Like, there could be some other things they do, maybe set up the future of the story, like set up the next arc. Perhaps it involves the Archangels, maybe the summoning of Bahamut, the revival of whoever Harl is interested in reviving. We know who Basilius wants to revive, of course. But yeah, this is interesting. So not focused on the history, and I think probably comes at the right time for that. Like, there are 2 big historical events that we've been told about in Dragalia Lost since the beginning of the game, with the First and Second War of Binding respectively, and now we've had dedicated events focused on both of those time periods, so it feels about right. You know, maybe this could even go into the future instead of the present. That would be a little bit more far-fetched as far as I can tell, but you never know with converging timelines of Audric and Zaina. Maybe that could be something they further explore here, like a sequel or follow-up to Fractured Futures. Not sure, but looking forward to this, and I think that that'll be a good event. It's not too far off. This year has gone by very fast, but late September is not too far off, so gonna have to go into extreme savings mode and resist temptation to summon here, but we'll do my best at that. Obviously don't really have much resources left to summon with, or even resources to buy packs to summon with. But we did get our Gala Audric today, and we got some good summons yesterday as well. That is going to do it for today, everyone. The last thing here is Champion's Testaments and some end vouchers for all players. The next time we'll get an update this month in Dragalia Lost is going to be September 1st. I hope you enjoyed this look at what's to come for this month in Dragalia Lost. Let me know what you're most excited about in the comments below, as well as what your theories are on some of the events that were teased. That is going to do it for today, though, once again. So thank you as always for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time.